Hi guys, so this is the second time I'm filming this. I had to shut my window and I have no storage on my phone, so that's the thing. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what's been going on. My parents are out, so I finally have the house to myself so I can talk without feeling really self-conscious. Um, so recently it was my sister's wedding, that was on Sunday, and it's been a long 2 weeks. I came back on the 31st of May and I've been home ever since, and oh my god, there's just been so much going on and I'm still recovering. I'm so tired. Yeah, so she got married on Sunday. She's left for a honeymoon today. We had another event on Monday, and yesterday and today we've just kind of been putting our house back together. Yeah, I'm really happy for her. I'll try and insert some photos of the wedding here, and you can have a look at them. I'm still waiting for the professional photos to come through because my iPhone really let me down. So basically, I've not been getting much sleep at all. I typically, if you follow me on my blog, you know that I already find it really hard to fall asleep. Well, recently I've had a lot of personal issues and stress going on top of the wedding, and that's really made it difficult for me to fall asleep. I've been very anxious, not really that hungry. I don't know about you, but I always go from one extreme to the other. I'm either so stressed out that I can't eat, or I'm so stressed that I want to eat all the time, and I was just fluctuating between that for the entire 2 weeks that I was home. Yeah, so right now I'm just hungry all the time. I literally couldn't even wait to make food, and I was just eating M&Ms all morning. Hopefully when I get back to London I'll try and get back to normal a little bit. So yeah, it's been really stressful, and normally I fall asleep around 4 a.m. And then I wake up at 8, sometimes earlier, because it's summer now and the light outside really wakes me up. But that now I literally went to sleep at I think about 7:30 this morning, and my mom obviously came into my room at 11 and was like, "You alright?" Yeah, I think she understands that I'm just really tired. And so I wanted to talk about a little bit about how I'm feeling at the moment. I know that there's a lot of suicide prevention exposure on the internet, on Twitter. I think there have been quite a few suicides, high profile suicides I should say, recently. I believe Kate Spade committed suicide, which is really scary. I always thought that I've never thought of suicide, the act of suicide myself. I feel like I'm not I'm so averse to pain and things going wrong. I won't do surgery, at least right now, because I'm just too scared that they would fuck it up unimaginably and I would never get back from it. And I think the same goes for suicide as well. I've had really low points in my life, as I'm sure a lot of people have, but I've never thought about acting on it just in case something goes wrong. And obviously I have a family and I have friends, and even though it's hard to remember sometimes, they are there to help you and to make sure that you're okay. But I do want to say that I've been feeling really shit lately. So I don't want to go into too much detail, but I've had some really bad things happen, and I feel really guilty and ashamed and it was my fault. I hope one day I'll be able to talk about this without wanting to cry or run into a brick wall, but at the moment I really can't. So I just want to say that what helped me, and I'm still very much in it, I'm still very, I would say, quite depressed. I mean, I don't use that word lightly. I do want to be a clinical psychologist, and mental health is something that is so important to me, as well as physical health. You take so much for granted these days. It's been a really fucking tough year so far. I moved to London last year and it's been both good and bad. I struggled a lot. I put a lot of pressure on myself to do well in my degree, and I think my personal health really suffered for it. I remember feeling so confused because I was ill all the time when I was there. Like, I would get a cold, I'd get the flu, and like after 3 days of getting better, I would just get it straight away again. And I really think that was a result of just not taking care of myself. I wasn't sleeping right, I wasn't really eating properly. I mostly just ate junk food. I was just lazy, and honestly I just didn't really care. I just thought all I cared about was doing well in my assignments and hopefully getting through this degree, and then all I wanted to do was earn money. I have always been in a position where I'm earning money or I'm doing something, I find it really difficult to not be doing anything, and I think that really affects my mental health, which is something I've learned about myself, and I try and take steps to combat that. I try and be busy a lot of the time, otherwise I will just sort of retreat into a hole and not do anything. So yeah, so that was one thing, and then like a variety of things have happened. We had a death in my family it's been like almost 2 months, I think, and it's one of those things where you don't think that something like that would affect you. I remember, and this is so bad, but I remember a few years ago that I was dating somebody, very briefly. We met like once, and we spoke. We had a really bad date. We went for Thai food, which is my favorite kind of food, and he hated it. He hated everything on his plate. Didn't finish his food. I found it quite like cringy, to be honest. Like, he was a really nice, really lovely person. We had a nice time, but he just wasn't for me. But afterwards, I'm such a pussy that I didn't just tell him that, you know what, I'm not really interested. So he did message me for a while, and he told me that his uncle died, his Chacha, which is in Punjabi, that means your dad's younger brother. And when he told me that, I just remember feeling like I don't really know what to say. I was sorry, of course, and I sent my condolences, but I honestly didn't really think much of it. I didn't spend much time thinking about him. I think after a few days I just stopped talking to him completely, and he just got the message. And recently, like I said, there's been a death in my family, and my Chacha died. That's my dad's younger brother. He's a year younger than my dad. And it's been really, really hard. Obviously, not so much for me, because I mean, it's been hard for me as well. I think it was just so sudden, it was so shocking. It was just like one day we were just sitting at home watching Nashville, of all things, which I still cannot watch. And my mom just was like on the phone in the hallway, and she came back and was like, oh, your Jaja passed away. And so we, you know, everyone like ran out of the door and went to go see what was happening, and I stayed at home with my brother. And I remember just being so like initially devastated that I just didn't know what to do, and I made my brother, who is not the one for physical or any kind of strenuous activity, I made him clean the whole house. Like, we both cleaned the house like top to bottom. I made him wash dishes, I made him hoover, I made him like sort out the garage, I made him do a bunch of stuff just to like pass the time for when they came back. It was so like shocking, and I remember feeling really weird because I felt it quite immediately. So like a few years ago, I want to say like 5 or 6 years ago, my mom's younger brother passed away, and he was sick for quite a while. So when he died, it was like heartbreaking, of course, but not as like shocking for me. I'm sure like my mom obviously really felt it, and you know, he has my mama, that's my mom's younger brother, he has kids, he has a wife, and like he has parents, of course. My grandparents are probably my favorite people in the world, and it literally like broke me to see them cry and be like so upset and distraught about what happened. Like, it's unnatural to lose your child, I believe. So that was really difficult, but I felt like I dealt with that in a much more healthier way. Like, they live in Newcastle, so I didn't see them all the time, so it wasn't like bam, it's happened. I don't think I cried until the funeral, and then it just like unleashed. And I cried at my cousin's wedding, obviously, because her dad wasn't there. And I think it really makes you feel like what you have. I'm so thankful that my parents are still here, that my grandparents are still here, that they got to see my sister get married, which made, like, obviously it made my sister's wedding really emotional for me. I wasn't so much upset that she was getting married. In like Indian culture, that's a really big deal. A lot of people cry when like the girl leaves the house, because it's like you've got a new family. It's quite a strange tradition in that way. I'm not sure if it's the same for like Christian or any other wedding, but for Indians that's what it's like. So people usually cry anyway. But I remember at the pre-party, it was like, because my dad has 4 brothers, and when they were like up and they were dancing and I saw it, and like he wasn't there, and like it just really hit me again. And I'm not really too much of an emotional person, but I've been crying a lot because it just keeps hitting me that he's gone, and it was so unexpected, and it makes me feel a certain type of way. And then we went to the funeral, which was also really hard. And in Indian culture, you have an open casket, so you can see the body. They'll obviously do the embalming procedure and whatnot to make sure he's presentable. And I remember I literally saw him for a split second. Like you have to like go around the room, there's like a prayer, and I saw him for a split second, and I remember just feeling like my heart shatter, because, and this is like the worst thing, I'm touching wood when I say this, because he looked so much like my dad. It made me like really terrified. I think out of all my dad's brothers, he and my chacha look the most alike, so that was really hard for me. And they're really close in age. He's 1 year younger than my dad, and like the last time I saw him, it was his 50th birthday party, which was such a happy and amazing occasion that I really feel it. It was so unexpected. I got really sad about it. I'm still really sad about it. And then my sister's wedding came along, and I dealt with some personal stuff, which has really, it's really like significantly impacted my life, which I will talk about sometime, I think, but I just can't right now. I just wanted to get a lot off my chest, because I feel like in real life you have friends and you have family, but you really just don't want to burden them with everything you're feeling, everything that's going on. Like obviously I lost an uncle, but my dad lost a brother. You know, my mom's known my uncle a lot longer than I have. She's been in our family for a lot longer than me. Same goes for like his kids, his wife, my grandma. Like it's very raw and fresh for everybody. You know, my sister had to get married and he wasn't there. It's all quite fresh, and it's not something I can like easily talk about to people with, because I do get quite upset, and I really don't like getting upset in front of people. Of course, I don't think many people do. And like in terms of friends and things, I find it really hard to open up to people and to tell them how I'm feeling or what's been going on. Like I think I've only told one friend that my uncle died, and I just don't know how to break that barrier with people and just tell them how I feel. I don't want to burden them. I don't want to tell them things that they don't care about or they don't have the capacity to deal with. Like everyone's dealing with their own shit. And I think I just wanted to say that, like, I encourage you to be honest with the people in your life, because I think you know what it's like to feel like you can't tell people what's going on with you, and to feel really scared, and like life is just too hard and you just don't want to do it anymore. And I just encourage you to reach out with someone, and if you can't reach out with someone, try and write it down. As I mentioned earlier, I haven't really thought about like suicide and stuff, but I have felt like this, like I've had like a really heavy heart, I would say, for like the last few months. So I've decided to like try and keep a gratitude diary. It's the only thing that I know that I've read psychological studies on that actually improve your mood and make you feel happier. I'm trying to like let it go and be in high spirits. Sorry about that. My granddad came around, minor interruption. I don't know if anyone else experiences this, but my granddad will literally pick out all of my flaws and be like, you've got a spot there, your skin's dry, you don't drink enough water, you eat too many chocolate. I mean, I love him, he's my favourite person in the world, but you just don't need to hear it, you know? So, I was just moving some stuff in the garden, so I'm a bit out of breath. Where was I? I'm in a much better mood now that I've seen him, actually, so that's a good thing, because I was on the verge. But yeah, so I try to keep in high spirits, I think I was saying. Yeah, so obviously, like I said, a wedding is super sad for like the bride's family. It's quite a sad thing. Obviously it's happy because she's happy, she's married, she's in love, she's gonna have a great life, they're a good family, etc, etc. But I think my dad, who is like the most emotionally resilient person you've ever met in your life, like he barely cries at anything, and although he feels, he's very good at controlling his emotions, I would say. And he has, like, for such a problematic person, he has quite a good outlook on life. So yeah, I was, like, my brother and I were quite upset, my brother more so than me, when she left our house. Again, I probably will do a video explaining all the different customs that we have, so this video might make a little bit more sense. And he was telling me that, so basically in Sikhism, and if you didn't know, I am Sikh. I wouldn't say I'm the most religious person in the world, but I do believe in God, I do have faith, I do like my religion a lot, I do wear a gada, and I hope to be a better Sikh in the future. I'm always about bettering yourself. And so there's like a saying, or like one of the principles really of Sikhism is called Chaddi Kala, and it basically means to stay in high spirits and to be optimistic no matter what life throws at you. Which, you know, I've heard it a lot, and it's actually like a very popular lyric in a lot of Punjabi Bhangra songs. But really, I just don't think I pay attention to a lot of things, so when my dad said that to me, it really resonated with me, and I think it was just something I really needed to hear. And then I was online, I was scrolling through the internet and social media as you do, doing my usual distraction techniques because I couldn't get to sleep. And yes, I know that if you can't get to sleep, you shouldn't be on your phone. I know all of that. I know about all the sleep hygiene. I've studied sleep. I know it all. I'm not asking for advice. I know it. And I really do think it was a mood thing lately because I was absolutely exhausted every day and I just couldn't sleep. And I think, so I saw a few quotes, some really good ones. I saw one on Facebook that was from Steve Jobs that he wrote, like, I think around the time he died, so obviously before he died, saying stuff about how, like, wealth and success is all temporary, and really all that matters is, like, loving people and just being loved in return, which is a nice thing to say because I think that even though I don't feel like I feel it all the time, it is there. It's harder, I think, when you're grown up and you're not living with people that you know care for you. It's not as obvious, and my family, we don't really say I love you a lot. We don't really do that. We do like hug, and I say goodnight to my dad. I know my mom loves me. She cries every time I leave. I know my brother loves me. I know my sister loves me, but it's just not something you say like verbally, and I think it's important to do that sometimes, like not all the time. I'm not really a soppy person, but I think occasionally it's nice. And then there was another quote, I think, from Jim Carrey, and this is another thing that I want to touch on, is that I love comedians. I love them so much. When I was quite like down, this was like before my Cha-Cha died, before any of that happened, and I was just really down, really beating myself up about a lot of things, about how I was just struggling. I didn't know where I was going. I was spending all this money on my masters and I didn't know if it would be worth it in the end. I didn't think that I would do well in my course. I got a few, like, you know, assignments on, and it was just really, really hard and stressful. And I think I watched Russel Howard's stand-up comedy or something on Netflix. I'll probably try and link it below, or at least put the name down below, because it is really good. And I watched that like randomly at like 2 a.m. one night, just literally felt really low, just wanted to cry. I think I had been crying that day like quite a lot, and I really just wanted to feel different for like a minute. And I remember laughing so hard and just thinking that while I was laughing, like I literally cannot remember the last time I laughed, and I think it is so important to laugh. I think you should do whatever you can to laugh. I'm gonna actually list a few of my favorite shows in the description box below that I find really funny. A lot of people don't have my sense of humor. I do like quite crude, rude shows, but I also like the generic funny shows like Friends and stuff. And I like light-hearted shows, and I love reality TV shows like Queer Eye and Project Runway. All of those I think are really, really good and powerful to watch, because it's just like a window inside someone else's life, and a lot of them are quite honest about their struggles and how they've waited and it's been a long road for them, but they're finally here, and you just have to like not give up. It's hard, but you just have to find the strength to do it, I think. So yeah, basically the quote from Jim Carrey said, I believe it was Jim Carrey, and I think I screenshotted it, so I'll put it to the side if I can. And basically it was saying that don't be attached to things, like don't be attached to money, jobs, even people, really. I mean, obviously family is important, friends are important. If you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a partner, that's all important as well. Don't take them for granted, because you just don't fucking know. But I think the message really behind that was that you're all just a passenger. You're a passenger in life. If you lose something, it's gone. Like, you can't dwell on it. You can't really, like, you can't change it, and it's really just painful for you. And that's really what I wanted to say, is that, you know, people make bad decisions all the time. People lose stuff all the time, whether it's a job, a breakup, and a lot of loss triggers depression. I know that one of the like defining features of depression can be that there is no trigger, if you will. Like, it is just either a culmination of things, and it's for an extended period of time. But for a lot of people, like, a chronic low mood is obviously going to happen because of a recent experience, whether that's a death, whether that's like a big transition, a move, or a loss of a friendship, or a breakdown of a relationship, you know. And it can be really, really difficult. And I'm not here to tell you that your feelings aren't valid. I'm not here to tell you that, you know, you should call this number or whatever, because it's really fucking hard to talk to people sometimes. It really is. And I think to myself, yeah, I'd rather talk to a stranger than someone that I know loves me and would be hurt by what I was telling them about how I was feeling. But at the same time, and I have been to counselling in the past for like a variety of reasons, just really for my own personal growth. I want to be the best person I can be, because I really do want to work in this profession myself. It's really hard to open up to people that you've never met before, and I think that there's like a window of opportunity. In like the first 5 minutes, I know whether I'm going to tell someone all the things that I've been keeping inside, and honestly, I don't. Like, I see them and I try and be honest, and I do get upset, but there's just something inside of me that just won't let it out. It's just like, it's just better inside. Like, I just find it really difficult to open up. So basically the message of this video is, please take care of yourselves. Please be honest with yourself. Try and do whatever you can to make yourself happy, or just at least feel a little better. I've met clients in the past, and they do have things that they enjoy, but they just can't think about it. And my only advice is just force yourself to do it. If you love music, listen to music. If you love singing, sing. If you like watching movies, if you like going to the theatre or watching plays, you know, recording things, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, taking photographs, reading a book, just try and make time for it. Try and make time. Try and take care of yourself. Try and have a shower. Try and wash your hair. It's the bane of my existence, but just try and do it. Because you're worth it, really. You know, you only really have yourself at the end of the day. Like, you're with yourself all the time. And I speak to myself like shit most of the time. But I think I'm a good friend. I mean, I don't know if that's a conceited thing to say, but I think I am a good friend. So just treat yourself like a friend, and don't be afraid to ask advice from people. I feel like you don't need to go into specifics. A lot of people can read your mood if they know you really well, so don't be afraid to open up and tell them what's going on with you. Allow them to help you. Keep a diary, write in a journal, write down notes. Like, I really enjoy finding quotes that I find quite powerful and like screenshotting them and putting them down. I really like quotes like that because it literally just uplifts me for like a really tiny little millisecond of time. And I feel like for that tiny little second of time, I'm like, okay, everything makes sense, everything's gonna be okay. You know, I try and remember how lucky I am, how fortunate I am, that I have a roof over my head, that if I ever get into any difficulties, I have a family that will always be there for me. Like, I don't think I'll ever be homeless, or anything like that. I've had so many opportunities. You know, we have NHS, we have education, we have so much here. And my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents worked fucking hard to get here. And sometimes I just don't feel like I deserve it. I feel like I'm pissing it all away. I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's a lot to live up to. You know, and I think it's just important to love yourself. So this has been quite a rambly video. I think I'm going to leave it at that. It's been really, really long. I hope that some of it made sense. I hope that you enjoyed at least part of it. And yeah, I just encourage you to please share your own experiences if you feel comfortable doing so in the comments below. If you've experienced a death, if you've had feelings of depression or suicide or low mood and you're comfortable sharing with other people your experience and maybe what's helped you as well. If you have or feel like you've come out the sides or improved a little bit, please put that down in the comments below. I would love to read that, and I will try and put as much as I can in the description box below. I probably will try and include some helplines in case you do want to talk to someone. I have a friend who's part of the Samaritans, and she is one of the loveliest people I've ever met. She also has the same aspirations as me, and I know that she'll be absolutely brilliant. So they really do have a good team of people that will listen to you and hear you out and not judge you. And I think that's what everyone's really afraid of when they share how they feel with other people, is the judgment and that feeling like the next time you talk to them, that's always going to be in their mind, that that's how you felt at that time, and you just don't really want it to define you. And that's exactly how I feel. So I decided to put it on the internet for everybody to see, and we'll see if this helps anyone at all. But I feel a little bit better. I don't know if that's just because my granddad just came and he's a top guy, or if it's because I finally let off what's on my chest. Again, I do intend to talk about other issues, and I do want to make more videos. So please leave in the comments below what you'd like to see. I'd love to do some videos for you guys about anything really. I love beauty, I love makeup. I'm not so much of a fashion blogger. I barely get dressed most days. I live in t-shirt dresses and denim jackets at the moment, so it's, you know, I'm not probably the best person to ask about that. Yeah, so please comment below what you want to see, and again, share how you're feeling. I'd love to know. I have my email address and everything, my social media as well if you're interested, and I will put all the information that I want in there, down there. Please take advantage of it. If you feel like you need someone to talk to, I'm happy to talk. I'm not a professional. I am not qualified to give any kind of life-changing advice. I can't give you medication or anything, but I am a good listener, and I really do care about people, and I think a lot of people do, but you just don't feel it. I really do care. It really hurts my heart to think of people out there that feel alone. So yeah, please take advantage of that. I'm going to try and film a bunch of videos before my parents come back, so if you see me in the same outfit, don't be surprised. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to, dislike it if you want to, I don't mind. I am quite chill with that, you know. I don't really care if no one sees it, if one person sees it, or if like 100 people see it, as long as my dad doesn't see it. So please don't send it to my dad if you know him, because that would be really embarrassing. I'm not wearing any makeup. I do look like shit. I have been eating shit for like the last week. So I do have spots, I do have blemishes, my skin is not the best, so that's just a disclaimer. You don't need to tell me, I do know that, but if you want to tell me, go ahead. I know my grandma just came and told me, it's fine. So yeah, thank you so much, lots of love, please take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.